Purdue fans call it our house, where they've won 36 straight non-conference games, but they've got their work cut out for them today.
Oh, Chilovich, what a stroke.
Oh, man.
That's unbelievable. He's got an arsenal.
That upset in the making. You wondered if Iowa State was worthy of another number 10 ranking. We answered that one for you today.
Worthy of a little lower.
Iowa State with perhaps the best win of the season thus far, dominating Purdue at Mackey over on CBS earlier this month. And that heavyweight matchup hasn't been uncommon this year, with 40 non-conference matchups between ranked schools entering Tuesday, the most ever, and approaching the same number of games the last 2 years combined. So the question for you guys, has this scheduling elevated the sport, and do you think it's a necessity to continue in future years, Gary?
It has clearly elevated the sport. In November and December, college basketball is forever fighting for attention with the NFL and with college football. And you're not going to win most of those fights, but the way you can get a few punches in, so to speak, is create compelling matchups. And thankfully, some of the biggest brands in college basketball are now led by men who are more inclined to schedule big games, like Tommy Lloyd at Arizona. Earlier this season, he said, we're not afraid to play these games, big games like against UConn and other big brand opponents like that, and we're also not afraid to lose them. It's okay. And so finally in this sport, the BCS mentality is gone. For whatever reason, coaches for a while acted like if you lost a game in November, December, it could have real ramifications down the road. In truth, that was something in college football for a while, but in college basketball, you could afford early losses and still recover. Thankfully, people are now scheduling that way.
You know, the casual college basketball fan in November, December's perception is that those games aren't any good. So to do this is definitely going to help us get some more eyeballs on the game, because that's an important, and these are also brand names that end up playing each other. You get a Duke, Michigan State, you get games like that. More people are going to be interested, more people are going to care. And it really, you know, I think Gary made a great point. People aren't afraid to schedule that way because it's been proven now that you're better off. You might be better off losing to Michigan State than beating a team that's number 300 in the net rating. So between the way this NCAA tournament is picked and between the fact that these games are there for people to get more eyeballs, I think it's a great thing.
Yeah, I love it. It tells you so much about your team. So early on in the season, JT3 made a concerted effort. My Georgetown coach said, you know, we would schedule games we would go to Oregon, we would go to Duke, we would go to Vanderbilt, and we would learn, like, all right, what combinations work well? What guys need to work on this? I had a problem with foul trouble, so go up against high-level competition earlier on in the season will help prepare you later on for Big East play. But to see Florida and Duke and Kentucky and Louisville play so early on in the season, as a fan, that's great, and as a coach and as a player, it helps out a lot.
It's been awesome, especially those games, obviously, with the Players era in Vegas over the holidays. A topic that always seems to make the news cycle is NCAA tournament expansion. NCAA President Charlie Baker recently revealed that there is an April deadline on any expansion that would impact the 2027 tournament, with discussion centered around a 76-team bracket. And this topic is one that's created quite a stir. Although the tournament has gone through changes in the past, it first debuted in 1939 with only 8 teams. That quickly expanded to 16 schools by 1951 when Adolph Rupp and Kentucky won it all. Then the bracket doubled to 32 in 1975 during John Wooden's historic run at UCLA, with the field slowly rising to 64 by 1985 when Villanova won it all. Lapp was on that Wildcats coaching staff. 2011 settled on the current 68-team format, with the first 4 and Shaka Smart and VCU making history, first 4 to Final Four that year. With all that said, are you a fan, Lapp, of expansion?
What are you asking me, as a broadcaster or a coach?
Let's go.
Because if, as a coach, there isn't a coach in this country who doesn't want to see the NCAA tournament expand. Because let's face it, you don't make the tournament, it looks bad for your job. You make the tournament, you never know what's going to happen. And that's the benchmark for coaches. Am I going to make the tournament? So they definitely want it. There isn't one that doesn't. But me as a broadcaster and as a fan, I don't think it's a good idea. When I look at the last few teams that get into the tournament, it's hard to even find some, redeeming qualities about these teams at that point at the end of the bracket. Plus, we just talked about how the fact now that November means something and December means something because we have ranked teams playing each other. The regular season is going to be diminished and not mean a whole lot anymore. So I am definitely against it on that regard. My coaching friends, well, what can I tell you?
Exactly.
For me, as a broadcaster, I would say yes, because that means more dates, so the crew and everybody can go collect more checks. But as a fan of college basketball, I say no. Obviously, first thing, it devalues college basketball earlier on in the season. And the fact that, between, December and February, it makes the game so special, that time to win. It makes the difference between NBA and college, because there's more passion in those games. And second of all, the fact that they want to expand, to me, there's not a selection problem, there's an accountability problem. There's those teams on the bubble have more than 30-plus games to figure it out. And if they can't do it, they don't deserve to be in the tournament. We have to protect March as much as possible.
Like Lapp said, anybody who has ever actually sat down and put pencil to paper and filled out a bracket, like try to get all those at-large spots filled in, you start dealing with a lot of mediocrity the deeper you get. And at the end of it, you've got 4 schools that have pretty similar resumes, and you don't necessarily believe any of them should be competing for a national championship. So to answer your question, no, we do not need to expand the NCAA tournament. If it were up to me, we'd go back to 64. It fits perfectly on a piece of paper like this. The bracket does. I know we're not going backwards. I know we probably are expanding, and it is good for the coaches. There's all sorts of bonuses and contracts based off whether you're in that thing or not. But is it necessary for the sport? Absolutely not. We have never left a national champion out of a 68-team bracket.
Well done. Well said. Great discussion, guys. More to come on Inside College Basketball.